this is Kayla.
Do 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 do. Scoopity bum 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 dooby dooby dooby. Honolulu, Honolulu. Hoo doo 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 da. My God, did you all hear that music? Did you hear the music? That music was utterly, it was epic as all get out, but my goodness, that was giving me the sad vibes. I was starting to get really sad. I was like, we're not going to make this journey. Mr. Frodo, we're not going to make it back home, are we? This is going to be the last time we ever see a blue sky. This is going to be the last time we ever smell the trees in the wood. Mr. Hobbito, Mr. Hobbito, that's my non-copyright name for Mr. Frodo. Frodo. But we are not doing that. We are doing this, and all things beautiful. And swish. Hello, welcome. Hi, friends. You thought you'd never see me again, did you? Dimitri here, your friendly neighborhood Heyoka. Hey, if there's people out there in Chiggity Chat world, go ahead and light up that Chiggity Chat. Light it up. Let me know. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if things are on the up and up, audio level wise. Let me know. Let me know. In the meantime, let me take y'all to this beautiful place because I want to give credit where credit is due. And I want to give it right here. Let me show you. Let me show you. Let me show you right here. Let me show you right there. And you see this? Copyright free music, my friends. You see that beautiful thing? Journey to the Stars. This beautiful music is brought to you by this little page right here called Copyright to the Stars. Breakdown copyright, royalty free. So you got copyright free music for music videos, orchestral inspirational composition by C.A.C.A or C.A.C.A music. You're the man. You're the woman. You're the them. You are epic, friend. And I appreciate everything you do. Light up that chat, friends. How many people we got out there? Let me know how these levels sound. I'm just gonna lower that a little bit so you can hear me. So you can hear me. Oh my God. Old Spice. That happened in the middle of the thing. Okay, so let me. Oh yeah, Dianco. Excuse me. Oh, she didn't think I wasn't an Angie Tribeca, but I was. Heck yeah, I like Dianco. He's funny. He was awesome in Angie Tribeca. HubSpot. Get everybody fired with one email. I'm just kidding. That's not what HubSpot is about. Oh God, oh God. So minimal control. My clown hands. I can't do much with my clown hands. You ready? Let's go back. Let's go back to the transition. Yoop. Zippity doo dah, zippity hey. Where, oh, where are my chatters today? Are you here, friends? Are you ready for it? T-Swift, T-Swift, T-Swift. T-Swift, T-Swift, T-Swift. Everybody T-Swift, T-Swift. The only reason I'm hyping up T-Swift, not that Taylor, Montgomery, Morgan, Sophia, Rosetta Smith, Swift needs my help. But you know, she's been on my partner's mind a lot lately, so therefore that means I hear it around the house. So, you know, it's there, it's there. Jerry Steffi Camacho is in the chiggity chat. Hi. Hello, sister. Hey, let me know how this bad boy sounds. Because my usual sound engineer, or rather the person that lets me know that I don't sound like a garbled, drunken scuba diver, just had LASIK surgery. My partner just had LASIK surgery, so she's out of commission for the evening. So I'm running this fairly solo. Fairly solo. So let's go. Anybody out there in Chickadee Chat world? I hear you fine. Cool. Cool. I love fine. Do you hear the music? Do you hear the epic music by C.A.C.A? Here, I'll show the screen again. And yoop. C.A.C.A, Journey to the Stars. Lovely, lovely people who do lovely, lovely things with no copyrighted music, friends. What they ask for usually is just a shout out. Give them their propers as they give people free music to use for their videos. People like this are awesome. Don't all artists should get paid, let's be real, but some of them just don't, or they donate their time. So I'm giving a shout out over here to Breaking Copyright Royalty Free Music, C.A.C.A Music. Can y'all hear the music? Oscar Tostalo! That's boss. That's Pops. In the chat right there. In the chat. Hey, how's that music? How's that music going? Do you hear the music? Do you hear it? Do I gotta turn it up epically? Do I gotta turn up epic music? Oh. faintly in the background isn't too bad. I can always turn that up too. It's okay. Okay, we're gonna put this on pickety pause for a little bit. Pause as we let people get cozier. Get cozier in the room. Yep. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah. I kind of like my new little graphics there. You guys see my little graphics on this side right there? I changed it up a little bit because I'm practicing on this stuff. Sounds good. Hey, Oscar Tostalo says sounds good. I like it. I like it. I'm going to give 30 more seconds to people who come into the chat. And I'm pretty sure they'll come in later and everything. But I'm here doing this for you. Hi, everybody. Dimitri, your friendly neighborhood Hayoka. Always here for your crazy entertainment, thoughtful comedic needs and thoughts. Thoughtful comedic needs and thoughts. I mean, it's all the same dish. It's all the same dish. Because we're talking about something today, aside from the C.A.C.A aspect of this, which has come later in this, but we're going into something that I am super late in the game to. Oh, then y'all know. Y'all know. Do-do-do. Here it is, friends. So let's get started. Huh? Jerry Stephanie Kamunch says, feel better soon, Minnie. Oh, yeah. She's getting a little bit of that corrective lens, corrective LASIK thing for her eyes. And then she's gonna feel eons better. Hopefully helps with headaches and everything like that. Ask your doctor if LASIK is right if your eyeballs fall out. Should they fall out? LASIK is just the thing for you. LASIK. It cures eyeballs falling out. So let's get started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started in here. We're gonna get started in here. Somebody farted in here. Who the hell just farted in here? It was probably my dogs up in here. Just kidding, it was me up in here. Haha. But no, we're talking about, friends. I'll give you a hint if you know what it's about. Ready? Are you ready? Do you hear that? Do you hear that? Real quick, if you needed a hint as to what I'm talking about, clearly you weren't paying attention when you logged into the stream. Today we are talking about the cultural phenomenon that was Game of Thrones. Set aside and everything going on in the 2010s all the way up to 2018 if I'm correct. Yes, late 2011 to 2019 there was the epic fantasy high fantasy drama that was Game of Thrones. And I wish I would have put dragon wings on one of my dogs in order to make it like woof, woof, really epic, woof. J. Stephanie Camacho says air show this weekend, so I've got fighter jets flying by super loud. We still hear the Game of Thrones. See, that's a metaphor. That's a beautiful metaphor for how crazy impactful this show was on popular culture. Even during an air show, you hear the epic score that is Game of This particular one that I found seems to be the orchestral version of that. It has like the voices, whereas like from what I understand, from what I saw, the ones that you would see during the show were not so it didn't have the voices until later, I don't think. I'm just scrolling through. Because I would, you know, hey, just kind of, you know, segueing into something. I would put this theme song up there with the likes of, you know, everything going on with Lord of the Rings, like the Shire, you know, the original Lord of the Rings theme song, like the, you know, the whole like dun 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 dun, dun. And then you have the Shire for all the hobbits, like do 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 do. Lower that for a minute. I would put the theme song for Game of Thrones as iconic as any of those. I'm trying to think of another little bit of what's another beautifully orchestrated fantasy theme. Oh, let's not talk about the best. Let's not skip over the best one of all time. Talking about never-ending story. Never-ending story. That's, I gotta say, when I grew up to realize how just insanely 80s that was. It made me all the happier to know that was going on with the never-ending story. Frickin' amazing. Frickin' fantastic. Yeah, turn around. Look at what you see in your face. The horse dies in the swamp. Fuck that, friends. Screw it. Traumatized Arctic. See? Jerry Stephanie Camacho knows what's going on. JS Camacho knows what's going on. But yeah, I would definitely pit the beauty of the Game of Thrones theme song up with any of them. It's iconic now. Absolutely. Absolutely as iconic as anyone going on. It was one of those ones where a masterfully crafted thing that like any good show will do that to you, right? You know, any good show will absolutely get you hype upon, you know, every show coming on every type of different what would you say, any type of show that comes on at any point of on any type of channel, you know, or any type of network comes on. Usually what happens is like they'll show they'll show the logo of the network and, you know, any affiliated networks or production companies, something like that. So, you know, with this one, it's that little, you know, you see the HBO thing. It's like, HBO, home break-in operations. I don't know. So you would see that, the little static, and then the HBO logo would come on. And then you'd hear dun 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 dun, and all the things would happen, right? What was it for well, it was something like another show that just kind of came to my mind right now. It was like for Breaking Bad. It wasn't like the epic score like this. It wasn't the full. It wasn't very long. Breaking Bad always had the opening kind of the catcher, right? That grabber scene that got you invested in the episode, and then you hear that like that dun 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 bow 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 bow, and it said Breaking Bad, meth, Bryan Cranston, meth. Aaron Paul, meth. Everybody, meth. That's the that's the PG version of that's the PG version of well, I don't know what. No, that's not PG. That's like the no stakes version of Breaking Bad. Everybody, meth. Do 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 meth. Do 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 meth. No. Don't do meth, kids. No, do math and figure out, I guess, maybe the formulas to cook meth, but don't do meth. Don't do it. Don't cook it. Don't do it. Just, there's other things you could do. Probably it's more productive to society. What's another one? Anyway, I'm stalling. I am stalling over here. I am Dmitry Stalin. I am Dmitry Stalin here. I am stalling so hard. Because, my friends, I really do have so many things to say about this beautiful, beautiful show. Oh my God. Okay. So, all crazy introductions aside, here's where your friendly neighborhood Heyoka is coming from. Okay, so, back in the day, when this aired in 2011, and went all the way to 2019. Yep. 2011. I had just graduated from college. Not too long. I had just graduated from college. So in 2011, just graduated from Università. And the hype around this show was nuts. Okay? This was a revolutionary thing that all my friends in college... See, I was a theater kid, and I was very much associated with what you would call the nerds, the geeks, and everything like that. Real quick, sidebar. Everybody on planet Earth is a nerd / geek / dork about something. That's the variable right there. That's what you got to realize, my friends, is that's where it changes. It just depends on what. And it just so happens that people used to beat up other people for liking other things. So, it's bullshit is what I'm saying. Everybody was a nerd, geek, dork about something. But my particular friend group, big pop culture nerds. And sometimes not so popular culture, independent, we're artists, actors, singers, performers, theater people, we love the popular culture, but you just love things dealing with storytelling and fiction and stuff like that. And this one was absolutely crushing it in the discourse among all types of people, crushing it. Cultural phenomenon. I'm going to say that a lot during this stream. Cultural phenomenon. It was the Undertaker of shows. Okay, the Phenom. I avoided it. Not on purpose. I wasn't trying to avoid Game of Thrones. I think it was just like the hype surrounding it was so massive, and therefore it became so overwhelming that it sort of overtook me. That overwhelming sort of love was almost like getting swept up in a tidal wave that just like, whoa, okay. It's one of those things like, I'll get to it when I get to it, And throughout the years while the show was going on, and you hear about the crazy things going on in the show. By the way, super duper deep ass spoilers for anybody watching, okay? If you're watching this and you plan on watching Game of Thrones, there will be spoilers. I don't know how to help that because the show's been over for nearly 5 years and it's been going on for, over 10. So if you haven't kind of figured out or caught wind of certain things, I'm sorry. But I will say, the show holds up on its own, even with spoilers. It's true. I back that 100%. Dang, you know what I should have got? Because I'm getting all misty here, and I'm all like plastic lipped right there. You see that? Because I'm sweaty and I'm energetic and I'm feeling good. But yeah, it's hot under all these lights, Mr. DiMaggio. What's the thing? It's like, oh, I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DiMaggio. Mr. Don Corleone. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. Don Corleone. Oh my goodness. Oscar the Sauce is telling me I hope she feels better soon. Absolutely, she'll be good. She apparently given the last update, she got since the LASIK, it's got the red eyes, and so she looks kind of zombied out right now. It's very like oh my god, she got infected with the rage virus from 28 days later. Hey bub, have Minnie see the crawling eye. Well, she is the crawling eye at this particular moment. Her eyes are crawling all over the place. So I will say, yes, this show stands on the merits. Even if you know what happens, I guarantee you it's still very much fulfilling in a grand way, especially those moments that you really hear about in sort of the those big moments that were like people couldn't stop talking about those week to week. They just namely, you know, the death of Ned Stark, the Red Wedding, the fight between Oberyn and the Mountain, just so many things. So yeah, we're getting into all that kind of crazy stuff, my friends. So I didn't avoid this on purpose. I'll be straight up with you. I did not avoid it on purpose. It was just really, you know, overwhelming at the time. But once in a while, I would catch roommates or friends either talking about the episode or they'd be watching it and I jumped in, which is really dumb to do in a show like Game of Thrones. A show like Game of Thrones, maybe like an old show like The West Wing, The Sopranos. If you jump in on Breaking Bad, if you jump in on all those magnitudes of shows, you jump in on them in the middle, yeah, you'd have a better chance being less lost in like a haunted jungle at the base of Mount Fuji or something. I heard there's like a scary forest, like the Lost Forest of Lost Souls at the base of a forest. I think of as it's either Fuji or Mount Kilimanjaro in Japan. Really cool, kind of scary, but yeah. So with my reluctance came a fairly minuscule passing knowledge of everything going on in the show, and I happened to just catch those little things. So I knew my boy Boromir, Sean Bean, died in the show. I knew something called the Red Wedding happened. I knew Daenerys was basically the rightful heir. She is the queen of the dragons. I knew that. And it was just kind of like, okay. And randomly, I came up. Ana Gonzalez says, hi. Hey, hi, mama. Always back. I'm performing for all of y'all. This is what's going on. Welcome. And like I said, spoilers for Game of Thrones. I definitely shout this out to mom and I guess my dad, because you know my mama and my papa are getting older, and as you get older, your sensibilities tend to change. And when your sensibilities change, you become a little more gentle, a little more open, and your heart fills with love and joy and happiness. And this show has absolutely none of that. This show is violent, this show is sexual, and this show shows some of the worst parts of humanity you can possibly think of. So thank you, Game of Thrones, for showing humanity how much we suck dirty, herpes-ridden ass. No, still, very good show. With all that said, very, very good show. So, fast forward to a couple months ago, and this is after my partner, my partner had told me, hey, I got done watching like the first season and first like 2 seasons, like middle of season 2, so good, you should watch it. My father-in-law was basically like, oh, it's so good, man, you gotta watch it. Friends always going in there. I got friends who have like, you know, House Lannister, House Stark, House Martell, Tywin, House. I was gonna say Tyrell. Martell. Tyrell. I get some of these things confused. Yeah. And what? J. Stephanie Camacho says Ned's death was horribly Yep. Nobody's safe. Absolutely nobody is safe in this show. Like, funk all. Nobody. Like, this is I guess that's a nice little euphemism for life, I suppose. So yes, I had a passing knowledge of all these beautiful things regarding the show. And when I just one day, I didn't have work. My babies were just sitting there resting. It was cool. I was just like, I'm gonna watch Game of Thrones. I don't know why. Just the muse slash goddess slash fairy of Game of Thrones was just like, here you go, you little son of a bitch. Poof. Struck me in the arrow, and that arrow got me right in the trachea. Boom. Thank you, Game of Thrones. And I was hooked after the first opening scene, where the poor people of the Watch run into the White Walker, and boom, off and running on a very, very, very intriguing, deep, and unfortunately, man, craziness, as the public will tell you, disappointing ending. Now, was I disappointed? We'll get to that, but I will say not as much as others were. So, what I will say, I'm not biased whatsoever in a review, a retro kind of look at a casual who's approaching Game of Thrones, right? Okay. So as I said, and within the better part of a couple weeks, maybe just under a month, finished it, partner rewatched it with me, going good, Game of Thrones, boom. It found its way into my heart as something I really, really enjoyed. Some of you might be asking, what is Game of Thrones? Like I said before, high fantasy world with dragons and political espionage and magic and everything. It's basically a telenovela for fantasy of white people with more dragons and way less sex. Because you know that the telenovelas have so much pasión and passion and intrigue and ay Dios mío, mucho sexo. That's what they do. That's what that is, and that's Game of Thrones. I mean, and that's saying something, because Game of Thrones has a lot of sex, a lot of intercourses, a lot of X-rated things. J. Stephanie Camacho says, I'm total House Stark. You know, out of all the families, I think that, you know, it's really tough, right? Like, out of all the families in Westeros, they seem to just be like the most, like, they're just trying to do the best out of everyone. And by that I mean not be just god-awful people. They're still pretty awful people because they're very well-rounded. Not awful people, but they're not perfect people. They still have definitely their faults and their willingness to do some pretty horrible things. But you know, I'd say out of most of the houses, they're probably the ones who are just a little closer to grace. Oh my goodness, they everybody in Westeros needs a little bit of Jesus. Everybody in Westeros needs a little bit of Jesus Christos. J. Stephanie Camacho says, I wish this thing would live in the chat. All of the, let me say. All of the dirt and deals went down at the Bronx. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, think about, even in our world, do you have any idea how much dirt, you know, like escorts and sex workers probably have on the most powerful people on the planet? Like, the tastiest tea of the most influential and powerful people on the planet. You know it. Oh, you know it. It's not even a question. Not even a question. I bet they rule the world. I bet in secret they all rule the world because they're like, I know these things. Like, you can threaten me with death, but I put this out there, and what you gonna do? I'm dead. Ha ha ha. I don't know. It's probably not how that works. But yeah, the things going down in the brothels. You're absolutely right. J. Steph Camacho. I will say, I will tell you the basis of where I'm coming from with my review and analysis and my look at this magnum, just mastodon of a show. I have not read the books. I knew I'd say I knew about a little more than half of the major spoilers. Like, I knew how the show ended. I knew some of the really key elements of the show. I really, really did. So I haven't read the books, knew some of the key elements, and I was way late to the game. And I think in a way, I will say that's a testament to the show because, like I said before, even though I wasn't surprised and I kind of knew certain parts were coming, I was still very much intrigued and very much enamored with the how that particular thing was going to happen. So, you know, kudos. And in this lovely little place, I'm going to also discuss the kind of, the real hefty controversy that came out with the controversy and just real fan disappointment that came around with the end of the show, because man, I remember that too. And it was insane how much people really got mad at that. And here's my position, my friends. Here's my position. So I'm straight up with you and I'll explain later. But if you're watching this out there in internet lands, here's my initial and pretty solid stance on it. I really did enjoy the show. I would even go hard to say I loved the show. I loved the characters and I loved everything that was going on about it. For those that liked to love the show, I completely understand. For those out there who took this show and almost did like a trekker, someone who was about Star Trek or Star Wars, and it like got incorporated into their identity, I understand. I get it. Then, for those of you who were obviously like, it's not your thing, obviously I completely understand that too. It's fantasy, the fantasy genre, even high fantasy and everything like that. Completely, yeah, it's every, different strokes, different folks, right? And then for those of you who got so mad, so upset at the finale of the show and the last few seasons of the show, because the quality just got really, really wonky. I get that too, man. I get that too, y'all. So much. It was just, I understand completely. Now, what I will say, for those who got so mad that it destroyed like everything preceding it and just started beating the shit out of the dead horse and decapitating it and using its limbs to beat it even more because it enraged you that much. That one I don't quite understand, because there was some basic rudimentary and sort of technical things about the last couple things of the show that still kind of kept it on its feet. It was wobbly, like a newborn baby. It was a little, but it was still doing what it needs to. It was still going in pretty hard and pulling people in. What I will say though, before we just kind of dig into a little bit of nuances going on, or a little bit of details, what Game of Thrones did, my overall summation about Game of Thrones, is it M. Night Shyamalan itself, particularly in the movie Signs by M. Night Shyamalan. Y'all remember the movie Signs? With Mel Gibson, Joaquin Phoenix, very young, Cillian Culkin? Killian Culkin? One of the Culkin brothers was in the movie. And a very, very young Abigail Breslin. Very, very little. She's little. That movie, the reason I say that is because that movie had brilliant, oh my goodness, lovely buildup. The first 2/3 of that movie were great. I remember enjoying the fuck out of Signs. And it built up so much. It built up the conclusion of the movie so thoroughly, and you were invested in the characters, and it was so personal, and it was so emotional and captivating, and it was very much just a nice little insular story about a family that you really came to love and care about, and they had their own little dimensions, and the family felt beautiful and real. And then now again, not absolutely terrible, but it took some steps that you were just kind of like, huh? Why did you show that? Why is that thing for the aliens? Why is that the motivation? Like, what's going on with these things? That's how I felt about Game of Thrones. So as far as for the show itself, I just kind of feel like that. It's just oh man, you really did. You had the best of all possible problems with Game of Thrones, which is of just like, hey, everybody loves it so much, and now we have so much pressure to deliver on fantastic stories, right? Well, so that means I'm not very upset about the ending. What I was rather like, oh, is that the reason? Oh, that's not very cool. That's not good. Is the why the quality kind of started getting laxed and everything like that. Why the quality started cracking. Why the armor started breaking down in the middle of the battle that is telling a full kind of cohesive story. Man, so, yeah. Yeah, so, let me take a little sip of my Florida whiskey, my Chicago whiskey. Oh, real quick. Yes, good movie. Oh, Anna Gonzalez says yes, good movie. She's speaking about Signs. Yes, Mama Gonzalez is absolutely right. Let's see. What is this thing? My water's contaminated. I know. She was adorable. You said I didn't have good water. I just want my water. And she just left them all over the thing. All right, so give me 1 second, friends. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a little towel from my face moisture, and I'll be right back. And I'm back. Let's see. That's the secret, friends. You gotta dab, check the camera. Dab, check the camera. Check the camera. Mm-hmm. I don't know if y'all hear that, but that's my little man's, my little doggy. And he loves drinking so much water at night. Don't know what that's about. He doesn't regulate all day. He doesn't drink water all day. He plays and everything. He goes outside, he can get hot, but at night he just loves to drink gallons of that stuff right at times. So I gotta stop him and be like, hey, you okay, bud? You okay? Go lay down. Go lay down. One of the funniest things on the planet is when you give a dog or an animal an order and they just stare at you like you're the biggest idiot. You would think that they would be like the idiots because you're telling them to go do something and they're just staring at you. Nope, you're the one who looks really stupid when they're just it's like, hey, go lay down. They're just like, because then I'm like, do you not get me? What do you not understand what I'm saying? God, man. Dab, check the camera. Well, that's as good as it's going to get because guess what? It's going to get real heated real fast. You are lucky we all love you. What does that mean? What am I, ugly? Did my own mama just call me ugly? I have a face not even my mama can love anymore? No, I'm just kidding. All right. Let's take a sizz-neat. Woo. Let's adjust some of these things. Justin. Oh. I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a fun night. All right, so Game of Thrones. So here we go, my friends. Ready? Allie. Let's see what we got going here. Alrighty, Allie whoop. Jason, if you can watch this, Vader drinks more at night too, but he does drink sporadically during the day. I mean, yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a breed. Maybe it's like a lab thing or something like that. I left us. No, I didn't leave. I just had to make sure my face wasn't so wet. So yeah, as you see, friends, here we are at the page. Just real quick, just a little summary of Game of Thrones. Is an American fantasy drama television series created by David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. Oh, these guys are infamous now. Based on the adaptation of A Song of Ice and Fire. I was recently listening to a podcast, interview with Mr. George R.R. Martin, the writer of the books of Game of Thrones, and some of his things and some of the way he grew up makes a lot of sense. Particularly, so in Game of Thrones, there is clearly a lot of political. There's clearly a lot of. Oh, easy, bud. Sorry, bud. Oh, my poor guy. He like came and he was trying to lay down, but he hit the light. Good boy. That's a good boy. Oh, that's a good boy. Oh, don't look so sad. I didn't scold you. How come all doggies look at you and they're like, man, why'd you do that? I'm sad now. So in Game of Thrones, there's a lot of the kind of the political. There's a lot of politics, and since the world is set in what you could say is like medieval, very much it's a fictional world on the continent of Westeros, and the kind of the big the big sort of difference going on in the show for those who are don't know or catching up is that they basically have the seasons throughout the year, but it's kind of we only follow really one big continent of Westeros. And the whole thing is that, summers and other times that are just kind of nice last for a while. But the thing that's really kind of crazy and lasts way too long and is way too detrimental to everybody's health is winter. That's why if you ever saw anything with Game of Thrones, you see the thing is like, winter is coming. Coming is winter. Winter is coming. If you got a shirt that says coming is winter, you got ripped off because that's not the saying. But yeah, the winters last for like years, and they're deadly winters. So with that, there's in this medieval sort of fantasy world, there's dragons, there's magic, there's a different type of sort of religious systems going on in the world. Here's the thingamabob that they are. Since it's like political, very, very political intrigue, it's like it's politics all in a crazy, very, very fucked up, cold-hearted grab for power. And people are making all these very intricate and deceptive and really kind of, some of them sadistic, some of them trying to be honorable, but that never works out. They're trying to make all these little moves. They're trying to make all these little moves that are basically, they're thinking 3 steps ahead, 4 steps ahead, 10 steps ahead, how to get their enemies trapped so they can attain all the power. Which is kind of crazy because apparently George R.R. Martin was a big chess fan when he was younger. And he was actually like he was like a game director for a while, which is really cool. But yeah, George R.R. Martin, my man right here. All right here, Mr. George R.R. Martin. And yeah, apparently he was already kind of like a successful screenwriter. But he's a successful novelist, did pretty good. He had like a couple flops prior. And the show didn't actually it wasn't smooth sailing getting this show on the road. It was really hard apparently. I was watching a sort of thing online on the Lost pilot episode of or basically the pilot episodes is supposed to inspire, get the show picked up, and apparently it was just a huge disaster. Nobody understood what the hell was going on. It's crazy. But anyways, yeah, so that is the basis of Game of Thrones. Now, let's take a little breakdown, shall we? A real quick little breakdown. Let's do it real quick. Characters. Love all the characters. Anybody out there who's watching and you know Game of Thrones and you got your characters going on, I want you to pop off some of your favorite characters. We'll talk about them. Some of your favorite characters, throw them on. Here's the hard thing I have in my particular thing. I didn't hate really any of the characters, at least not in the way that, oh man, that either that actor was making some really crazy choices, or I was like, oh, that's weird. I'd say pretty much honestly that I can remember, and even through some, I've been watching just random episodes. It's kind of fun to watch random episodes once in a while, keeping it a little fresh, a little crazy. But there's nobody I hated as like the character was just like, oh, you're not suited. Everybody does well. All the actors, all the performers, the extras. Check out a beautiful documentary series on Amazon, friends, about the last season, making the last season of Game of Thrones. It's really heartfelt about the extras who've been with them the entire journey, and they get to play different creatures and different extras in different towns and everything like that. It's really fun. It's really it's a really fun watch. So yes, naming some off, going in. Tyrion. That is Tyrion Lannister is one of the fan favorites. I love Tyrion. I love Peter Dinklage. Here, let's let me pop up a little. Let me top up a little full. Let's see. Game of Thrones character. Oh, that's probably the... All right. Look at that list. Look at that list. Hold on. Let's move this to the different one. Ready? And alley-oop. Yeah, that's a good list right now. That's a good list. That's pretty cool. It's like, oh man. Oh man, is it just not the season? Oh, just... Jesus Cristo. Look at this. Nice. Yeah. Okay, so Stephanie Jerry Camacho writes in a couple times. All right, so we got Tyrion, Jon Snow, Arya Stark, Ser Jorah. Fantastic list. And I do know that my sister is very partial to the good guys. When you're just cool, you're cool. She likes good guys with some edge. Can't never go wrong with that. Yeah, Tyrion, fan favorite. First couple of the first, especially a lot of people praise the first 4 seasons as being like those are the pinnacle seasons of Game of Thrones. Those are the seasons that are very hard to beat. But I will say, very rarely is in that kind of particular time span is Tyrion written off as like, oh, that's weird. It wasn't until later. But yeah, Tyrion, Peter Dinklage, killing it. A little bit of Kit Harington as Jon Snow. A little bit of Jon Snow. I love Jon Snow. Yeah, I love me some Jon Snow. And arguably after Ned. Actually, no, that's wrong. Because honestly, so the most pure-hearted person in Game of Thrones is probably Sam. Well, persons is Sam and Gilly. They're not really trying to hurt nobody. They're not evil. They're not scheming, conniving, weasel-ass people. They're good freaking people. Sam is a good person. Gilly is a good person. It's a miracle those two survived the show. Yeah. It's because nobody good really... if you're just a good person, you're not supposed to survive the Game of Thrones. You're supposed to get a feast of crows pecking at your Song of Ice and Fire fucking head. It's supposed to be... Like, you're just supposed to die if you're a good person. It's just if you trust people, if you let them into stuff, like you're just supposed to die. It's really, really sad. But yeah, so no, Jon Snow. But what I would just argue is like for the one who dips, who has to basically has responsibilities that are outside of people like Sam or Gilly or anything. Yeah, Jon tries his best to do to keep his honor and his nobility going on. Arya is obviously a fan favorite because she's a little badass. I understand why my sister would love her because she's very tomboyish. I know my youngest older sister tomboy to the bone when she was younger, and Arya is that. I love that Sansa came into her. Lovely Sansa came into her thing, and the way I say Sansa is because English people put the R's at the end of vowels into another vowel, and Americans don't know. So it's Sansa, and Arya Starker, and Ser Jorah, Brienne of Tarth, Brienne, Ser Jorah. Oh man, Ser Jorah went out like a badass near the end of the like a show. But yeah, basically a very loyal man. Brienne is such a... I can talk on way end on Brienne of Tarth. And she had one of the most gut-wrenching moments in the show. Not gut-wrenching. I take that back. That's the wrong word. Not gut-wrenching, but she had like a really heartfelt... She had a heartfelt thing with her interaction with Jaime Lannister. Who doesn't love the spicy, bitter son of a bitch that is the Hound, Mr. Sandor Clegane? Clegane? Yes. Clegane, yes. Sandor Clegane and his really, really big fucking brother, Gregor Clegane. All the actors apparently just big dudes, of course, because the mountain is supposed to be real big. So the thing is with the thing with the character Theon Grey. Yeah, there's just so many. Yeah, see, J. Stephanie Camacho just popping off. So when you get into the basis of, you get into the meat and potatoes of such things, what you do is you realize that not really many of these characters are not not three-dimensional. Pretty much every one of them is three-dimensional, and it's lovely. It's lovely as they are supposed to be that, because I guess the distinction in high fantasy is you're taking just a deeper approach to the fantasy element, and you're grounding it, I suppose. What the hell? Let me see. Let's check. Let me of high fantasy. Let's see. Whoop. High fantasy, or epic fantasy, is a subgenre of fantasy defined by the epic nature of its setting or by the epic nature of its characters, themes, or plot. High fantasy is set in an alternative fictional secondary world rather than the real world or primary world. The secondary world is usually internally consistent, but its rules differ from those of the primary world. By contrast, low fantasy is characterized by being set on Earth, the primary or real world, or a rational and familiar fictional world with the inclusion of magical elements. Interesting. You know why I got quiet, friends? You know why I'm thinking about is because there's a specific tonation, there's a specific crisp and taste and meaning to the words high and low. So you think that for a high fantasy, it's supposed to be like, it's above, obviously, like literally above low fantasy, but then that implies that it's better or it's anything. But, so that's why I'm like, we can do epic fantasy, but then we have to find something else for low fantasy. Maybe like, what's another word that we can use? So if it's, by contrast, low fantasy is characterized by being set on Earth, the primary or real world. Why not just call it primary fantasy versus epic fantasy? Close fantasy. Something else to take away the sort of hierarchical vernacular. It's not important. It was just something that I was thinking about while sort of reading up on the things of like, what this high fantasy is like. Is it better? Is it worse? Is it what are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing? I don't understand what we're doing with that. But yeah, I like that. Maybe it's like, epic fantasy and primary fantasy. I like that. I'm gonna go with that. Because But yeah, okay. So that's what that means. Whoop. This being a epic fantasy means it's, like they said, so fleshed out. The characters are so fleshed out. The world is, you have. That means you have the whole opening sequence of Game of Thrones. Look at this. Yoink. You see all that? You see all that business right there? Diddle-diddle-doo. It's basically a map. It is a fictional map. Fantasy writers and game developers, all the people who delve beautifully into fantasy, they do this. They make their own world. They literally make their own fucking world, and it is beautiful. What a great thing that, man, if you really think about it, it takes a lot of work. J. Stephanie Camacho says, can't forget Khal Drogo and Daenerys. And then she said, Brienne's ordeal was gut-wrenching. Yes. poor thing, I believe, got a raw deal. We'll get to the raw deals of the show a little later, because, man, oh my goodness, it was, it's something to discuss. But yeah, the fantasy genre being something that's very, very ingrained in, it's like every opening scene. Let's see. With Clara's vocals. Who's Clara? Basically, you know, yeah, and maybe they're. I'm assuming they're also dealing with a specific level of detail because you're not integrating fantasy elements into our world. It's completely, you know, there's obviously some connective tissue and there's relative, you know, things that you understand. You know, in order to understand the world, you have to kind of, you know, you gotta have a little bit of grasp on what's going on. Like, so this is why Game of Thrones is very, very relatable, because it's set in this sort of medieval fantasy times, and we were here, you know, humanity, us here on Earth, as we know it. We were here some, you know, a handful of 100 years ago, like, so, you know. Anyways, characters, right? Characters, great, fantastic. Everybody coming in hot for the hot tub, you know. And yes, Jaime Lannister. See, you got Rob Baratheon, our first, you know, our first king, the king that we know in the show. Rob Baratheon, Mark Addy did great. Oh my goodness, Catelyn Stark, you know, poor mama. Let's not forget the mama of all, this woman, bitch ass, oh, beautiful, Lena Headey. Just this woman puts Nefertiti from the freaking the Ten Commandments to shame. This woman is, beautifully played in Cersei, but Cersei's a nasty character. She is evil. Can't forget a lovely Daenerys Targaryen, the mother of dragons. So freaking cool. What I love about everything going on with each character in the show, that I can say for any other piece of work that digs this deep, is that characters three-dimensional, characters not perfect, characters have so many struggles and so many things to contend with because they're contending with each other, but then they have personal growths that go on. They come with their own set of baggage and their own set of obstacles that come in the form of their shortcomings. It's just, yeah, it's the common thing of showing people. So characters, boom. Themes going on in Game of Thrones. Boop, 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 boop. Television creatures proceed as sort of medieval realism. Neo-medieval. A common theme of the battle is good and evil, which Martin says does not mirror the real world, and the political leaders have mostly been portrayed negatively as they are disregarded by the well-being of common people. There's a few possible exceptions include Daenerys, Jon Snow. So here's the thing, man. Oh my goodness, the themes. And what he's talking about with the nature of good and evil. Oh boy, watching this show, ladies and gentlemen, and those in between, like watching this show, I needed like 8 palate cleansers, man. I needed just some good old fashioned, a little more black and white, good versus evil things that we're seeing in the, because oh my goodness, this. Good people do messed up things. Bad people do really bad things, or sometimes, but they're, you know, they justify them the right way. Like, it was just. I needed to watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, and if you haven't seen it, you can check out my my review on the live action one on the channel. Go ahead and pop that in a look. Even if you're not watching, just go ahead and check it out. Leave it on in the background. That's cool. But I had to watch the director's cut of Lord of the Rings because
is very, very clear cut. Sauron, the orcs, Sauron, all those people, Sauron and Sauron, you must do not be so quick to judge. Like, evil, bad people, the Fellowship of the Ring. Even though there's some, there's things going on. There's not good things going on with the Fellowship, but they're battling evil. Willow's a good guy. Willow's a very good guy. Val Kilmer in Willow is a good guy. He's goofy. He's a good guy. Good and evil. Very clear cut. I understand why sometimes things that are a little more nuanced and everything like that for the general public can just get really, really exhausting. So it's okay. I understand. I needed that after watching certain things of Game of Thrones. I really did. I really, really did. But what I will say is the themes going on in there, overall, greed and power. That's probably your main ones, right? That's probably your main things going on in Game of Thrones: greed, and a quest for power. The blinding nature of power, and also the consequences of doing the wrong thing, and very, very heavily the consequences of doing the good thing, because the good thing apparently in Game of Thrones can only sustain itself for so long, aka when Daenerys frees the slaves. That's a great thing, right? She frees a bunch of slaves from different not settlements, what would you call them? But basically like all the different cities and massive cities going on. She's freeing these slaves, but man, then all of a sudden there's all kinds of consequences coming up with doing what she understands to be a very, very good thing. Because she's young, she's still young, so there's like a naivete going on with that, right? So it's all good. The themes and everything go. They usually disregard well-being of calm people. Even somebody as speaking of like, but like I guess it could be a theme for like self-realization, the nature of humanity and people and everything like that. Like, oh my God, let me see. Oh, Lyanna Mormont, yes. It's okay, because you know why? She survived the battle, and she grew up to be with Pedro Pascal and Ellie in The Last of Us, and I'm sorry she left. I'm really sorry she left the world of Game of Thrones, only to come into the world of The Last of Us. What a shitty, shitty life. I did have to look up the name, though, because, man, yeah, a lot of these names are just like they, oh my goodness, they are, there's so many, they elude me so much. But I'm just saying, like, there's something, a specific type of nutrition and diet that you get from the fact that your bad guys aren't all bad, your good guys aren't all good. Well, your bad people aren't all bad, and your good people aren't all good. Like even little scenes with Cersei, who's arguably the most conniving and like in a way just the most solidly evil person. Like, let's take I'm taking away from like Joffrey and Ramsay and the Night King. But like Cersei has a very, very unique type of darkness to her. I was like, Lyanna. Yeah. I was like, Lyanna? I was like, I don't remember that. But yeah, Lyanna Mormont. She went out and she killed a giant, a dead giant. So that's about as badass as you can exit. But even Cersei has a lovely little thing of lovely little things going on to have you take a peek. At least you take a little peek into her, why she is the way she is, and you understand very much the Thanos thing. A lot of that's one of the things you can kind of throw out and people will kind of wildly understand. It's a little bit of the Thanos thing. Thanos just needed a little exposition and a little story about why he's doing what he's doing, to cut the universe in half so all the resources can be good. And he's just gonna go off and just chill after he does what he feels is a good deed. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. Hold on, gotta readjust here. Help. And then we're gonna tilt this up this way. Oh yeah. Oh, nope, that's too high. Now you can see behind the scenes. You're not supposed to see the wall. Not the wall. You must go to the wall, Jon Snow. If you don't go to the wall, Jon Snow, you're not gonna come back from the wall, Jon Snow. You know nothing, Jon Snow. I would love it if Ygritte would have said that to him that way. You know nothing, Jon Snow. So basically, JSW Camacho says, "Can we just go back to baby Cersei and that? Are you pulling a war machine? Are you pulling a roadie on me, sister?" Good. I like I love the enthusiasm. Love the enthusiasm. Cersei, yeah. I mean, I would vote. You should probably do that to Joffrey and Ramsay Bolton. Yeah. Okay, so while we're on characters right now, while we're on characters and our baddies. So I heard all manner of things about Joffrey. And like I said, friends, earlier in the thing, spoilers. And trust me, I get it. Joffrey, the character, is a shit. He is a evil little shit. But I was watching these little shorts that kind of dig into the difference between the book and the show. There's like a little backstory about Joffrey that says, like, obviously his mother really coddled him for a while. But if I remember correctly, it's because Robert, his dad, like, first off, didn't want to be king, so he was always just kind of absentee, from what I understand. He was always kind of just like not really about that. But Joffrey would always cry, and Robert always wanted to be loved. And since he didn't, since the boy didn't seem to like being held by him or anything like that, he would just throw him away. So it's just like this weird sort of, I don't know, something got ingrained in Joffrey that just kind of was anything. And where I give Joffrey a little bit more credit is that even though he's a little shit, he's still technically a kid. Like, I think by the time he dies, he's only maybe like, what, 15, 16 years old? He's a kid. He's a little guy. Yeah, so anyway, I heard all manner of things about Joffrey. This fucking Joffrey. Oh my God, I was so happy when he died. I hope he dies because, oh my God, he's a little shit. Didn't nobody at all warn me of the sadistic bastard that is Ramsay Bolton. Didn't nobody clue me into that fool whatsoever. I cannot legitimately tell you, but nobody told me of the insane sociopath that is Ramsay Michael Bolton. And frankly, I would have been happier if he just sang like Ramsay Michael Bolton. Yeah. That man needed to die. And it is my thorough opinion, friends, that Ramsay Bolton got off easy. This is actually why I had a problem. It's one of my main critiques about Endgame is that, sure, the subversion had to happen, right? Like, you know, hey, how are we going to deal with Thanos? And everybody was probably speculating all over the internet. I get it. We can talk about that later, my friends, about like the nature of what storytelling means nowadays is because of social media and the internet. It's different. It's different. And anybody you hear about it can tell you how different and how crazy it is nowadays. But oh hey, Victor Tostada, what's up, cousin? Yes, chef. Yes, chef. Papa Lannister. Oh yeah. Oh, you know he gets his own. Let me say, played by the lovely Charles Dance. Yes, you saw it on Numse. My friends, this guy, boom, right here. Papa Lannister, Tywin Lannister. Potentially my favorite antagonist of the show. I think I can make a pretty good case because he is just Tywin. He is. Oh, and also he's the Phantom. Y'all don't remember this, but Charles Dance played the Phantom of the Opera way back when, and he's a badass. Tywin Lannister is a badass, but he's also Sir Numsi. So he didn't die after the Golden Child. He just teleported to Westeros and basically took power. Tywin was a badass, though, don't you think, cousin? Oh, yeah. I bet you. Joffrey just needs a good ass whooping. Loved when Tyrion's like, yeah. Go online and maybe I'll do it right now. Who gives the shit? Tyrion keeps slapping Joffrey. Tyrion keeps slapping Joffrey. I think it's this one. Combo breaker.
Nothing to me. Oh, I can't stand the wailing of women. I'm telling Mother. You can't.
Oof.
Do you understand? One word, and I hit you again.
Fatality.
He just kept slapping the fuck out of him. Oh my goodness. Yep. Oh, that's amazing. Ramsay was a special kind of crazy. Yep. Jerry said the same thing too. Ramsay got off easy. He would have done more to torture him. Yeah. See, this is why Barboso is my brother from an absolutely other. It's so yeah. Nobody warned me about Ramsay. And it was something that myself and my partner discussed. Is like he got off way too easy. Like they needed to do some more things to him. And I get it. Sansa's not cruel like that. Neither is Jon Snow. But like just narratively, you could have unleashed you could have like cut out his tongue and then unleashed Theon on him, or like who else would have probably just done like a number on him. Let's think about this for a little bit. I guess you could have maybe what you could have done is lied to Cersei about something Ramsay did, and then Cersei would do some really kind of evil nefarious shit to kind of get back on him. Victor Tosada says Zombie Mountain. I mean, whew. Okay. You brought up a good thing, cousin, because that's exactly where my mind was coming. Okay, so, as I said before, so Tywin Lannister, potentially my favorite antagonist, and in a slew of amazing antagonists. Let me make it clear. Let me make it clear, my friends. The thing about antagonist is it's such a small picture. There we go. There we go. Bam. The Night King. The Night Ass King. Even my own partner is like daddy. He's a daddy in his own right. The Night King is a badass. So let's be real about that. He's a badass. And I'm stating that having not discussed the latter seasons. Okay? Okay, we're getting there. Frankie Mountain? What does it say? Franken Mountain. It's okay. So the reason I would say Tywin he's my best, he's potentially my favorite, obviously human character, but I saw a thing, saw a video. I was kind of doing a little bit of research, doing a little bit of a recap, getting ready for today. I saw a video saying that the structure of season 8 wasn't that big of a miss, and I agreed. Basically saying that there's it would have been potentially even more disingenuous near the ending of the show. Like I said again, I was reminding my friends, spoilers, but it would have been a little more disingenuous had the Night King and the White Walker army be the final baddie battle, because the show never really delved into the the show never alluded to after that everything is hunky dory. It's not that kind of story. Does that make sense? In Lord of the Rings, obviously, there was the ending of the big battle, and then there was the kind of the letting the air out of the very, very pressured and tense tires, right? There's the thing of Frodo and the hobbits going home, and everybody kind of goes their separate ways. In the books, there's little segments of what happens to each hobbit after they go, what happens to Aragorn, what happens to Arwen, what happens to Legolas and Gimli. Where does Gandalf go? It does all that, but Westeros doesn't function like that. Westeros you would think what would happen is when you go back to what they call in the literary terms the status quo, it would have been the incomplete story, because it's everybody's okay now, we're basically back to where we were, only with a lot less numbers, because our army got a lot of the army got decimated, right? By these fools right here. So I liked that they said in the beginning of the show you deal with the White Walkers. Like I said, how is a different story, but then at the end you still have to contend with the different evil, the conniving evil, the human evil. Okay? I like that. I was okay with that. Even though, to be honest, I am a sucker. This is why I think the Night King and Tywin are at battles with each other. Maybe it just depends on my mood that specific day, on what kind of baddie I'm leaning towards. I'm a sucker. Personally, I am a sucker for the type of bad villains that are literally just kind of represent a storm. I love villains that are it's I guess you could say the Terminator thing, but just to dig a little deeper. Hence why the thought of zombies, it says the army of the dead, yeah, but the Night King essentially, given the history from what you see in the show, made by the Lings. What are the? Oh my goodness! Oh, give me a second. Oh, give me one moment. I forgot the names. The tree folk, children of the forest. Okay, yeah, I was I knew it had something to do with trees, and children, and leaves and forests. Basically, these the children of the forest, these little sort of almost they remind me of Spriggans or like nymphs or something maybe. But yeah, I'm a sucker for that type of villain that represents like just this silent storm, malevolent force. I'm a sucker for those types of enemies because they're just, it's like almost, it's as ultimate as you can get to like stoicism, coldness, pun intended, because he's the Night King, as the cold winter, fuck you. But and like just completely unable to bargain with and a magnitude of intrigue and the representation. This is why I liked the Night King in that particular thing, is because the representation of something like that always I love, and and I'm pretty sure friends say, hey, you want to get to know me a little bit? You want to get to know your friendly neighborhood Aoka? We grew up having it ingrained in our brains that like, yeah, human beings do incredible things, but Mama Nature don't give a shit. If Mama Nature decides we need to go, guess what? We're going. We're gone. Don't believe me? Rewind the clock 4 years. That was not even a blink. I love villains like that. I love the villains who represent something that's greater than all of like the human-made problems. And I think that's why I gravitated toward the nature of the Night King and the Army of the Dead. And again, why I understand why some people were not some people, many people were disappointed in the conclusion and what had happened, and how they dealt with the Army of the Dead and the Night King. Yeah, if y'all are curious about what I think, I can dive deeper into that, but yeah, I love that. I've always loved that because I don't know, it's kind of a cool thing. It was like, hey, we were always saying is like none of this shit matters, because if he wins, this hefty, sexy, freaking popsicle looking like a total icicle daddy over here, if this fool wins, that's literally it for all of humanity. That's it. And no F's to the G's. Ain't no fucks given whatsoever. And you don't even die properly. If he wants you resurrected to serve him, he's gonna do his pre-YMCA thing and just you're back and you are his servant for as long as I'm sure he wants you to be. Yeah, I've always been a sucker for things like that. But in the human aspect, gotta have beautiful respect to Papa Tywin. Like I said, hated Ramsay Bolton, but like I loved him. Hated to love to hate him. What's his name? My man from, he's pretty famous from Harry Potter. Ramsay's father, Roose, was kind of a bastard too. Stannis made some ridiculous decisions. Oh my goodness! Let's look back. Let's look back at the list. Oh yeah. Oh, how can I forget? Like a very underrated character right there, man. My man Peter Baelish, aka Littlefinger. That's a conniving little funker right there, man. And then he's like, I'm a bit confused. Normally I'm 10 steps ahead. Melisandre goes through a whole thing. Bronn, but no, who am I looking for right here? I'm looking for him. Oh, can we give a shout out to one of the most badass characters, underrated badass characters? Oh, I have a picture of him right here. I'll get you. No worry, Jaquen. Jaqueline. That's my man's name. That's my man's name right here. My man right here. Bam. Sexy Jesus. Jaqen Hagar.
The faceless man who is nobody. This dude was a badass. I love this guy. He was really cool. I like this guy. He's a funny guy. I like this guy. Only kill one of them. Oh, I wonder if Jaqen would have killed El Guapo. He's like a man. He's like, a man has just killed El Guapo. He's like, come here, Jaqen. I have something to tell you. And he shoots Jaqen in the foot. He's like, oh, you just shot a man. He's like, I shot a man too. And he dies. No, but that's not who I was looking for. Who was I looking for? Where are you, sir? There's just so many names. Not Rickon, not Hodor. Oh yeah, real quick. Yeah. No. Yeah, the maesters. Some of the maesters are just nasty old men, but obviously brilliantly played. Where are you? Where are you? Let me check. Let's see. The twist of it is why he was created to help the children in the war against man. And then all hell broke loose. Yes, J.S. Camacho. Yeah, the twist of it is he was created to help. Yep, that's just, and wow, what a great, Hey, I love the thematic and narrative meaning of it is spot on. I love it. Love it. Yeah. How many things do man and and how many things do we create to make it like, hey, it's to help us and it's to do good, and then it completely goes off the rails. Is it the Tully? No, it's not the Tullys. Gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. Gonna find it. I didn't find it. Where are you, sir? The trance? Nope, not him. Oh, Mama. Lysa Aaron. Can I just say real quick, if y'all can kind of see that right there? Let me see if I can do the different. Do a little bit closer. Oh no, that's fine. Where'd you go, Mama? Can I just say, if y'all remember her, Lysa Aaron? She's the one who was breastfeeding her 38-year-old son. She was a little crazy. Mama was a little crazy and insecure, and a little not confident in herself. But I really did. The actress did amazing, and I always just kind of felt like I completely got the whole thing of she's been in her beautiful sister Catelyn's her beautiful sister Catelyn's like in her shadow, and she's just really trying to come up, and she just wants somebody to love her. I really got that kind of that feel for her. She just is a very, very tragic, misunderstood character, and it made her completely crazy. But she played it so well. I loved her for that. Oh my good. Open the house door. Anyway, my man who kicked off the Red Wedding. Is just freaking Arya slits his fucking throat because he's nasty and Hogwarts didn't like him, so he was like, I'm gonna go and be a lord over here, see? And I don't know why he's Australian. He's like, and I'm going to have a wee bit of intercourse to get so many babies with my babies and babies. Yeah, it wasn't good. Wasn't good at all. So that's what I got to say. Why were the children in danger? Asks Ana Gonzalez. Which children are you talking about, Mama? Which ones do you speak on, Mama? Are you asking? Are you referring to the question, Mama, of the children in the war against the man? Is that what you're referring to? Oh, so yes, if you're talking about the children of the forest, yes. Basically, the story, if I remember correctly, goes that basically the dominion of man was destroying everything. They were the industrialization of the things, even though it was obviously if you guys saw if you see things, it's still medieval, so there's not like crazy amounts of like it's not 1930s America or Europe or anything like that, but men is kind of going into the dominion of nature where like very specific magic lies and everything, and they couldn't defend themselves really as well as they needed to. So in order to do that, they captured, from what I think is like they captured a man and they turned him into basically a not a mindless. He's not mindless at all, but they turned him into essentially a like supreme warrior of winter, that's what I got from it. And yeah, that's why. So the dominion of man was basically breaking into all the forest and the domains of the children of the forest and stuff. So yeah, it was a whole thing, and it's beautiful, right? It's beautiful. I like it. Son of a bitch. Yeah. Okay. So yes, the children of the forest. Yeah. That's what you meant. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Mom, that's what they were doing. So yeah, it's just a special thing for that's the characters. Gotta love the themes. Gotta love the setting. Okay. Love magic. I think fantasy is one of the coolest genres out there. Actually, I don't. To be honest, I like if you do any genre right, it's fine. Fantasy just happens to be one of my favorites because, like, you could do so many like allegorical things. You can do metaphors. You can just expand the horizons of things. As fantasy, fantasy and science fiction can be a really kind of interesting way to expand your outlook on the world. It's really cool. It's really, really cool to do such a thing. Allie. It's really cool to do that. Here's one kind of main crack in the armor of the show that I was trying to get behind. There's a beautiful amount of check this out. Like, I typed in Game of Thrones explained, and is there a little thing? Where's the thing that says like how many? Where's the thing? Where's the thing that lets me know how many videos I got? There's no thing that let me know how many videos I got. They're ridiculous. There's ridiculous. Now, that's a lot. Anywho, there's a lot of videos, right? There's a lot of videos going on. And many people tend to talk about like, hey, so writers, people in the know, would say like when you're developing a magic system, it's usually so if you're developing a magic system to try to express and have some real grasp and some girth and some relativity and some intrigue and awe and amusement in your magic systems in order to enhance and make your world more three-dimensional, four-dimensional, and wondrous and beautiful. What you're going to want to do in the wisest of senses is not go wide with your fantasy and your magic system, as in like how and why magic and everything works in the world. So instead of going wide and having so many things, what you're going to want to do is go a little wide, but then go deep. One of the perfect
Perfect examples of this is in Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's not too crazy, right? It's people who can manipulate and have a relationship with the elements of the world: earth, water, wind, fire, and their beautiful songs of the 1970s. So when you go deep with the magic system, the explanations get worked out and everything starts to connect and make sense. That way, when you do a specific magic thing, it's not like, oh, that came out of nowhere. All right, I guess. There is some room for, to let the audience kind of do the work, or if it's not really that big of a deal on the story, like, sure. But in a show like this, see that? Game of Thrones, Game of Snooze, Game of Bastards, Game of Snooze, Game of Sands. Oh yeah, the sand snakes, the women, Oberyn Martell. Let's all give a shout out to sexy Oberyn Martell, who is still sexy even though he got his head. He did his impression of a squashed tomato in his head, played by the awesome Pedro Pascal. When you go deep and you have that in a show like this with the magic system, it adds more flavor, and then less questions come up with a world that is already so fleshed out with the sort of inter and extra personal relationships and the kind of flavor and realism of the world. Yeah, if you don't go too deep into the magic system in a world like this, it gets muddled, and then it can be like, it can leave you questioning things, and that's not what you really want in a show like this. And I hear tell that the reason that happened is because the guys who basically the creative directors and the developers, not developers, the showrunners, these guys. No, not George R.R. Martin. You are these guys. Daniel D.B. Weiss and David Benioff, the showrunners. It's created by the show, doing all those things. See, they didn't want to do magic. That's what I heard. The creators of the show, in a book series that was loaded with magic, from what I understand, like I said, still haven't read them. They didn't want to do magic initially. They wanted basically all the realistic parts of the show and keep the magical element to a minimum, if not completely gone. And apparently the author was like, George R.R. Martin was like, well, it's a fantasy and there's magic. There can't not be any magic. Like, that's not. So I think that's, obviously their hand gets put into it. And that's why it's like, the magic doesn't seem to make sense. I'll give you a for instance, real quick. Hold on, let me read some of these. Waterbender, yes, the books have a lot more magic. Hey, cousin, have you read the books? Can we borrow them? I would love to. I'd love to read them. I know definitely Alice and my partner would love to read them too.
Let me see, what does that say?
Who gave the order great shit? Who gave what order? Order a pizza? I could use a pizza right now. If anybody would like to order me a pizza, by all means. Oops, sorry. I love pizza. If you're wondering what kind, I'm a pepperoni man. Always have been, always will be. Pepperoni is the best. This show gets so much schnit. Like, the red woman, where are you? Where are you, mama? Where are you, Miss Melisandre? I saw you. I saw you. I saw you. Where are you? Melisandre. Why can't I find anybody on this list? This is the stupid... Oh, there you are. There you are. Melisandre of Ashai. She makes a little bit of whoopee. She makes a little bit of sexy, nasty Game of Thrones love Stannis Baratheon, the guy right on top of her. He's right on top of her in the list too. She makes a little and then she gives birth to a little gooey ink demon version of him, and that little ink demon version goes out and kills somebody. When you establish something like that, you kind of got to play with it. I don't know. I mean, it didn't take away from the story really, because like I said, the story is so rich and flushed out and deep. But like when you set that kind of thing up for the world, it really does like it does leave you start to ask questions like, well, what happened? Like what does that mean? What is like how deep are the powers of like the what is she known as? The priestess of the priestesses of light who serve the Lord of Light. You know, what does it mean for how deep can it go for Jaqen, who serves the many-faced God? Like all those kind of things. What do the dragons really do? What do they really think? It's a whole thing, right? It's a thing. So one of the main ones that like the main thing, I'll give you a little thing while I tell you about it. So the Night King has hold on, let's see what this is. Artless. Get the best music and sound effects for your adult-rated movie. I didn't say it was XX rated. I just said it's for adults. Okay, it's not for kids. So check this out. Like, so the Night King and alley hoop. The Night King has this ability to resurrect the dead. Sexy Icicle Daddy can resurrect the dead. By doing this, he has a power. Basically, and once he resurrects you, somehow he doesn't always need to touch you or anything like that. He does. He touches a dragon. He touches a baby, but like he raises his arms and you come back and you are part of his army. You are basically his now. You are his slave. But it makes you wonder. Here's the part that gets a little wonky, is that what's the range of which he can do this? Is anybody who's dead within his presence, is he able to resurrect? Did the army have to kill you? Kind of like a zombie, like, you know, what you might think of like a zombie type thing. Like if you get bit, you die. Oh, here it goes. Here he goes. My man's like, look at that. He's like, what's up, fool? Yeah, sup, John? Look at that. That's a total come at me, bro. Throw a sword. So this part, okay, I gotta say, like, this part, fucking just tripped me out. I was like, and here's the thing. I knew this would happen because I happened to watch this episode with a roommate of mine, but I had no idea what was happening. Okay? And it was a trip, and it freaks you out because then you're like, oh my God, like this dude, obviously everybody can be stopped and killed, but like this is a gnarly power, right? This is a wild ass ability. So he does this, right? And there's no real answers given to, like I said, the range of his ability. Does he resurrect anything that's dead in the vicinity of what he wants to resurrect? Is it animals too? Is it people who have been dead way before he even got there? Which is why at the end of the show, when he they're doing the big battle, right? The big battle at the end of the show. Big battle. Is the stakes could not be higher, right? He does the thing. He does the come at me, John bro. He's like, come at me, John Snoo. And people are kind of hiding out in the catacombs in where they're fighting. So it's like all the dead are in there and stuff like that. And all the dead in there start to come back too. And everybody's like, these idiots, they knew he could bring back people from the dead. Why are they hiding in a place where the dead are just all around you? And I personally didn't understand that critique, only because, like I said, they didn't establish like what the nature of his power was. Like, he did it, but it left too much to question of, do you have to be killed by the army of the dead in order for him to be able to resurrect you, or can he just resurrect any dead anything, anything that's maybe freshly dead, or, well, no, because that's what I mean. So the magic system in the show was like not as well fleshed out as some of the other things. It was a decent crack in the armor of the show, in my opinion. Victor says, who gave the order? Great shit. Oberyn words. Oh, yes. Who gave the order? Do you remember me? Yeah, Oberyn Tyrell. Who gave the order? Oberyn. He died from his own oberhubris. Oh, Oberyn Tyrell. See, again, testament to the show. I knew that was going to happen. I knew Oberyn's fate when he fought the Mountain. Okay? I knew it. And here's the thing. It gave me a different kind of dread. Maybe like the dread of forethought, I suppose. But like, it didn't take away from the tense nature of the scene. I quite enjoyed it. It was fun, right? Like, okay, so I did it. It says I listened to the books. Oh, you got them on audiobook? Oh man, those must be like 94-hour books. That's crazy. Okay. All right. I might do an audiobook, but I will say a little thing about me, friends. I like listening to my nonfiction audio, I like audio, but fiction I like to have in my hands. I don't know why. I don't know. It's a weird little kind of. It's a weird kind of thing I like to do for that. Yeah. Very long. Yeah. I bet. I think like the shortest Game of Thrones novel is like, let's see. I think the shortest Game of Thrones novel I read is like something like 900 pages. I don't care that much. I care, but I don't care that much. It's I'd rather it be a mystery. I'd rather it be a surprise. Okay. So we go into that part, right, friends? Okay, let's see. So that's now that we're doing that, we'll go into some of the reasons. I wanted to look this up for everybody. What went wrong with season 8? Oh man. I love to look up different ones. So I wanted to look up this for you, friends, because I wanted to there's so much negativity around. Oh, wait, did I wrap up? Hold on, real quick. Did I wrap up the magic thing and like the type of, like one of the kind of a criticism, a critique on the show? Did I wrap that up pretty well? I don't remember. I got sidetracked. My ADD brain a little bit. My ad brain. Yeah. Okay. Yes, you are correct, cousin. He has 2 more books, and everybody's always asking, when is George R.R. Martin going to finish his last 2 books? I wanted to comment that. Oh, here we go. Perfect segue into it, cousin, is that, oh, man. So, friends, I am a performer. I'm a comedian. I'm an actor. I'm a writer. I'm a director. Storytelling is so awesome. It's one of the most awesome things you can do. It's also one of the most painful. It's one of the most taxing in a way. And by the way, out there, people out there who are like, well, fuck, what the fuck, man? Why don't you fucking try crab fishing? Why don't you try plumbing, being a garbage person? Hey, I ain't taking away to any of those jobs that are demanding in their own right. Absolutely not. But sitting down and trying to create something that the pressure is on to give it to people and they can enjoy and actually absorb, and you can say you can honestly earn a continuous and decent living on it, all while suffering the scrutiny and criticisms of people who are talking to you about the thing that you created that for all intents and purposes is a part of you, legitimately a part of you. It's taxing. And to try not and get in your own way as you create something is very, very taxing. Okay? Just wanted to give you that little bit of information. So, I understand completely a knee-jerk reaction to panic about the ending of a show. Right? HBO wants to make money. Producers, everybody wants to make money. Yay, it makes the world go round. Money, money, money. Mo bitches, mo problems, or however it goes. I don't remember. I think it's more money, more problems. Money, mo bitches. Mo bitches, mo money. Bitches get money. Bitches and money. Something. I don't know. I don't remember. And therefore, they tend to minimize all the risk of good storytelling because they don't know how people are going to react. So they do things that are just like sort of one thing or another, even if it doesn't make sense or not, in the realm of like telling a good story. I do not envy George R.R. Martin's task and why he might be putting the books off for so long. I do not envy the task of having to finish his books. And he said it in an interview about like when he's going to do the books and what it's like trying to write around so many fans and so many people and so many ideas that break away into the earth, as in everybody on planet Earth has access to the ideas that everybody else has as long as they post it on the internet. And he has to fight against all of that and the ending of the show to try and make everything make sense for the ending of a now iconic and so built up piece of popular culture. That is insane to me. And I don't envy that task. I wish him the best. And I definitely, George R.R. Martin, if you're watching this, I don't know if you are, but if you are, sir, stay the course. Stay the course, George R.R. Martin. Don't let nobody influence it. If it just makes sense in the story, makes sense in the story. If people predict it, but it's still kick-ass, and if you have a revelation or something, just stay that course, man. Stay on that tightrope, and when it comes out, I feel like if you stick to the tightrope and then you dismount in a perfect plie and a YMCA, you're good. You're solid. You're golden. You're golden crusted soul gem, sir. All right. Yeah. Okay. Take a little load off right here. Alley-hoo. Alley-hoo. Just like a hoop. Just getting a little comfortable. Getting a little comfortable. Okay. So what are we looking at here, friends? Probably at the end of the discussion here. Wanted to look this up because like the reasons for a bad 8th season, and this is what I talked about before. For seasons 6, 7, and 8, I understand the bad things. I don't call them bad. I don't call them bad. I understand the ineffective things. I understand the weaknesses in the armor. I understand the cuts in the body. Okay, I understand the joints in the body that are not so great. They got a little bit of osteoporosis. Okay. I wanted to take some of the negativity going on in the internet regarding like the end of the show and just kind of put a little bit more of a light to it of just like, hey, it's not full transparency. I didn't think it was that bad. Okay, I didn't think it was as enraging as people had kind of really led to believe. I saw a lot of reviews on the ending of the show. It was, like I said, it was riddled with weaknesses. You can tell it was rushed. I'll get to why, or at least what I found out why. And hey, I know I'm late to the game. People already know this stuff. But here, I just wanted to go through some of these things. Game of Thrones needed more seasons. That I completely agree with. I think they even offered them. They were like, hey, we want to go to 10, 11, 12. I think they were saying, like, you want to go to 13 seasons and really flush out this whole thing? Let's do it. But from what I hear tell, the showrunners and the creators of the show were like, nope. Jerry Steffi Camacho says, I would have liked to know what happened to Drogon. Absolutely. Absolutely. He's the only dragon of his brothers to survive everything that happened. And that's saying something. Granted, he was the biggest and he was the baddest. But, like, yeah. Where did he take Daenerys when he flew off? I don't know. It needed much more time to, but yeah, apparently the showrunners did not want to. They wanted to move on to other things, so they literally season 7 and 8 were basically the season 8 was just an extension. Or excuse me, yeah, season 8 was just an extension of season 7. Season 7 could have been the rest of season 8. It would have been a 13 episode thing, is what they wanted. They just wanted to, and then. From what I hear tell, they were just, giving them the benefit of the doubt. They were fatigued. I think they were in talks with, it is speculated that they were in talks with Netflix or Disney to do other things. So they basically, their hearts were no longer in this. Why they didn't give it to someone else, and somehow, I'm sure they could have worked out a contractual thing where they still could have got paid for doing their stuff and just given it to another show. I'm sure they could have, because they could have worked the game in the Game of Thrones. They could have Game of Thrones the Game of Thrones. Like, come on. Because then, you have people who are still kind of fresh and still loving on the franchise, loving on the IP, loving on the story to close it out. But yeah, I when I heard that those were the reasons, that maybe they were just going in, they just wanted to get it over with so they can move on. I understand in a way of the fatigue of again, doing something this big and this expansive to this level with millions of dollars per episode. But come on. There had to have been a way. The Game of Thrones TV series overtook the books. Yeah. We talked about that. Well, yeah, he hasn't finished the last books yet. They ran out of material. They did they had some good additives in there of their own thing that weren't in the books, even though many stuff was stung out. But the original stuff was really cool. Like, I can't fault it. It's hard. And like I said, I don't envy George R.R. Martin to having to, the pressure to having to finish the books, versus trying to stay just a little bit ahead of the TV show. Like, man, that's tough, especially something this deep. Characters stopped acting like themselves. In regards to Tyrion, absolutely see it. In regards to Jon Snow, I see it. Bran, I see the pictures right there. Bran makes, to me, the thing with Bran kind of made sense. I know one of the biggest things for I know one of the biggest things for there was like a big old critique about what Tyrion says about why he chooses Bran to be the new king of Westeros, or the leader essentially. Is he's like, because who has a better story than Bran the Broken? I know that gets a lot of shit. That line gets a lot of shit. It doesn't bother me that much, only because he's always had like a, he's always kind of had an interesting relationship with Bran, being like, after his fall, he became crippled, and Tyrion has a special heart for a special place in his heart for being crippled, for people who are outcasts and looked down upon by society. Of course, Tyrion would have that type of mentality, but like, it's not all that far fetched in my mind when you look at, not necessarily what Bran has gone through, but now who he is and now what he's seen. That's my only kind of like where I dig in my feet just a little bit. Not to say that everybody else in there doesn't have a good story. Obviously, everybody, like I said, everybody in the show is well-rounded. But like the fact that Bran is now kind of like an omni-seer of things, like that says a lot. I will say, like, the inconsistency of, like, I don't really want anymore to, like, oh, why do you think I'm here? I'm here to be the king. Like, that could have been, they could have easily changed that with the line of, like, I don't have to, like, I don't want to be king. It's like, but I will do what I must as the three-eyed raven. Like, yeah, so that part was kind of weird. That part was like, that's a major bit of osteoporosis in the body of the story. Like, I can understand Bran taking the position, but not like necessarily wanting to. He's just kind of now he's essentially just a Dr. Manhattan-esque slave to what needs to happen. That would have been fascinating. Oh boy. This is in honor of my lovely partner who is recovering from a slight bit of LASIK eye surgery. She's absolutely fine. I'm just being real dramatic about it to just earn sympathy points for my audience. LASIK is so unfair to have not seen and then to see. What? What do you see now? Shiny bird? What do you see now, shiny bird? Let the wind take you. Let the wind take you to the stars and above. And that's how I won my Emmy Award, friends. No. I dedicate this to my partner because if there's anybody where characters stopped acting like themselves and what they say is a giant character assassination in her estimation, and I'm relatively inclined to agree, is the assassination on the choices made by one Jaime Lannister. Oh, friends. According to her, the thought of what they did with Jaime Lannister physically makes her stomach turn. Like, it is that aggravating to her. I understand why. Going back to what I said, Nikolai, I don't know my man's full name because he has like a 3. Nikolai Coster-Waldau. Nicolaj William Coster-Waldau. Valdo, I imagine. Would love to learn how to like actually say it in the proper Danish. But him and lovely Mama Brienne of Tarth, played by man, I had all their names in my head, and now I can't remember because I'm a moron. Where are you, Brienne? I want to say it's her name's Melody. No, her name is not Melody. Gwendolyn. I knew it was like something very melodic. Gwendolyn Christie. Killed that last scene. Killed that last scene beautifully. The way she just pleads with him to just stay with her is beautiful. And the fact that he says no, but you can tell there's like heavy amounts of reluctance in him. Yeah, that was the one where I was like, this. I think where the assassination part comes pretty hard is like, it didn't have to be that. If Jaime was going to break her heart knowingly, that could have been played for Brienne. And then he reveals himself to Tyrion. Or maybe not Tyrion, but he reveals himself to Cersei. Like, that one didn't make that much sense. I know that they've had, I get it. To a certain extent, I get it. Of his never-ending sort of connection to Cersei. Completely understand. But after the middle of season 7 going into season 8, like, I saw no reason why my man Jaime was still so... He's basically sees his sister as the monster that she allowed herself to become. And, yeah. Oh, man, that one was the toughest one in her estimation. I'm inclined to agree with that one. Followed potentially closer by Mama Daenerys right there, by Mama Targaryen. Not completely. Okay, they do make tiny little. They're weak. They're weak hints, but they're there. About her mental faculties going out the window, principally because she's a Targaryen, and principally because she's not thinking straight after losing both of her babies and her most trusted advisor, Missandei. So, like, again, I kind of get it, but, like, I feel like it made her weaker than what she actually was. Like, Mama has dealt with loss. Mama has seen, like, what her choices have brought her to. And, like, yeah, so it's kind of close to it's like, so I will say it wasn't completely out of nowhere. Because Mama, like, she didn't go from 0 to genocide in, like, 2 seconds. No, it was, like, 0 to 60, 60 to 100, and then all of a sudden, like, 100 to genocide. It was, like, not even to, like, 120, 130, 140. Like, she just went there. Killing so many innocent people. And it was like, I can't. That's my 2 cents on the thing. Needless mistakes. Oh, yeah, the famous cup. I didn't even notice. We'll skip that one. Major plot points never paid off. What do they say about this one? Let's see, which ones? When modern TV audiences talk about sexualized family, is it a measure to the spectacle or drama or excitement or satisfaction? Long-running series are an investment of time and emotion in part of and its effort isn't paid off by the ending. The biggest victim of this was long-running mystery Jon Snow's parentage among book readers. The R plus L equals J theory. So Targaryen heritage. Sadly, Jon being a Targaryen had no impact on the story. I mean, true. Yeah. But I mean, again, so many things were not, I mean, they were quote unquote paid off, just not well. Not as strong as you could have in the M. Night Shyamalan's sense of setting up such a beautiful world. And then, season 8 made earlier seasons worse. Finale, beloved series. Such as Jon Snow's thing with the Night King. Okay, So this goes back to one of my points of like the magic system. They didn't really go. Apparently, there's consequences to bringing back people. In every story you'll ever read or hear, to do something that dark and deep with magic, such as resurrecting the dead, is like, oh, just listen to Rumpelstiltskin from Once Upon a Time, where all magic comes with a price, dearie. Like, that's how it goes. What were the consequences of the characters to bring back somebody who was legitimately dead? And the other gentleman, the people who basically fight for no flag, and that man got brought back like 9 times. What could be interesting things to do with the fact that you have come back from the dead? Gods in this world can make you come back from the dead. Gotta explore it. And then if we're talking about what they try to do with the defeat of the Night King and the White Walkers, like, yeah, I understand. Beautifully shot episode. Yes, nonsensical choices were made in that show. Very places where the characters should be dead because they are surrounded by white. Yep, I get all that, all those things, but beautifully shot. I would say very, very effectively paced with beautiful music and, you know, just very, very beautiful at building up the tension of the things. But like, I love me some Arya. I love Arya Stark. But yes, the dealing with the Night King was a little bit weird. And it just, like I said, you M. Night Shyamalan yourselves. Why? Oh, why, George? Why? And not George R. R. Martin, just some random guy named George. Are you a friend named George out there? So why? You just you built yourself up too much for it to be over like that. Also, shout out to what I feel was one of the greatest character arcs in the show. Is let's give a lovely round of applause to Theon Greyjoy. I had no idea. My man who ordered the death of John Wick's dog. Yeah, asshole fucking Yosef Tarasov from John Wick. You know, Theon did some questionable things in Game of Thrones, but like, good dude. Overall, he got lost for a little bit, came back, tried to do his best, sacrificed himself for the good of the world. Like, okay, Theon. I see you, Theon. And I respect you, Theon. Rest in peace, Theon. And if you think about it, Theon's a really cool name. Theon. That's a badass name. I probably wouldn't have just rushed at the Night King like that. Maybe would have threw a spear. Yeah, chuck an arrow at him. Stand off and like get your sword and clash a little bit. It probably wasn't wise to just launch at him like that, but hey, wasn't your choice. It was in the script. Yeah, is such a beautiful thing, and then it ended that quickly. And also, man, can I just show y'all this beautiful? I love this shot, and we didn't get to see much. You hyped up the Night King, but also like his lieutenants look badass. Let's see if it goes back this far. I'm looking for it. I didn't know I was going to pull this one up, so let's see. When does it happen? Oh, it's not this one. Sorry, there's a badass. I didn't know I was gonna pull this up, but like there's a badass shot of like, so the Night King is like doing his thing, and all of his lieutenants are just walking through the broken. All of his lieutenants are just walking through the broken stone of the keep, and like all the smoke, and you see the fire behind them, and they're all silhouetted. And it just looks so. It looks so badass. How the hell do you spell lieutenant? Damn it. I couldn't remember. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, it's just... we didn't get to see anything with them, you know? Would have liked to. House of the Dragon site said, I can't, again, honestly, I can speak with honesty, friends. I did not. I have not, I'm 3 episodes into House of the Dragon, so I'm strictly speaking on Game of Thrones right now. I did like House of the Dragon, like from the first couple episodes. I am digging House of the Dragon. I just haven't finished it. Retroactively adding weight to. Oh, see, I can't comment on these ones because I haven't seen it. George R. R. Martin had little input on season 8. Yeah, from what I understand, they basically stopped listening to the man. From what I understand, that might not be the case. Those are just the echoes around town. I take all that kind of stuff with a grain of salt. But yeah, it's like, why wouldn't you listen to the man who basically spearheaded this whole thing? This is his story. Let him inspire you. Let him give you some ideas. Why would you get his story and put him over there? And then why would you take his other book and put it over there? Why would you take my legs and put them over there? And then they took my head and put it over there. And then they took my spleen and put it over there. House of the Dragon gets crazy. Yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing it, and I'm looking forward to season 2. Because, hey, and I'll try my best not to be late to this game. It's just... you know, it's a vibe, my friends. It's a vibe. Ooh. Uh-oh. Oh, no. My set. My things. What happened? Oh my God. House of the Dragon gets crazy. My live stream got crazy. Oh. One sign unfaithful people hide. It's buying yellow furniture like that. Oh my God, look at that. Oh my God, what is that color? 1 second, friends. Let me fix this crazy. Oh. I'm okay, bud. Duh. My little man came over. He's like, "What's wrong, Dad?" Go lay down. Go on, bud. Go lay down. Go lay down. It's okay, bud. Ooh, my the leg of my chair caught one of my extension cords. Every time and up and up. Haha. Gotta put this bad boy back. My circus tent. It's a crazy thing, my friend. It's a crazy thing. Oh, is House of the Dragon a book? Has he finished those books as well? Oh, interesting. Okay.
I'll give that a look now. Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones. Yeah, my friends, and all in all, like I said in the beginning, I completely understand. I'll reiterate again, I completely understand the love for this show. Absolutely. With all of my heart, I understand the love. With all of my heart, I understand the hurt that came with the end of the show. Because they lost the heart. And part of one of our production companies that we're trying to get out there is like, hey, if it's got the heart, it's the art. And apparently the two big guys in charge lost the heart. So something had to go when you lose the heart. It sucks, you know? A lot of people are saying the House of the Dragon is kind of, you know, it's coming up where Game of Thrones really kind of, you know, had some pretty significant weaknesses, which is okay. All right. But yeah, the would I be down? It is one book only. Victor Tostado says one book only. Okay. All right. Okay. Would I be down to see, like, if they just happen to, if they got like all the original cast to like redo the last couple seasons? That'd be interesting. You know, everybody would be down to watch that because, you know, it would be one hell of a power move on HBO's part if they really just like, if they were just like, we're redoing these last two seasons. You're gonna do that, and we're gonna do it now. We're gonna do it right, or we're gonna do it better than it came out. We're gonna get the same team of people who desired. Who worked on it to come back and see if we can retcon some things. And I mean, is that an insult to the people who worked on it prior? I don't think so, because like, I don't know, like, not that I don't think so. I don't know. How's that? I've never been involved in something that big, and to say like it was retcon because like we flushed out some more things, like, I don't know. You kind of, sometimes you do it in theater all the time, you know. You do a play, and then you know, you do an old Shakespeare, you do an old classic, or you do a new, and you reworked it, and then you do it again, and you're kind of more enthused because you feel like it's stronger. So I don't know, it's different. I know that was very long, my friends. If there's any cacas that you would like to throw my way for the last few minutes of the stream, I would love to hear them. In the meantime, oh my God, where'd you go? In the meantime, let's see. I looked up some fun things. Viserys. Oh my God, I forgot about Viserys, Mr. Family of Blood, Doctor Who himself. This is the scene. Just like, here's a picture of Viserys grabbing somebody by the face and going into the secret garden. Why is there no plane? Yeah. Okay, so YouTube is playing. What's going on, Tic Tac? Here, what if I refresh you? What if I refresh you? What if I refresh the fuck out of you, TikTok? Okay, a wee bit of a stickler, a wee bit of a nitpick. That's not necessarily a scene. It's a shot. And it's a badass shot. On the nose, sure. Badass, absolutely. You just got Drogon flying off like that.
The Battle of the Bastards. Again, so many things wrong with Battle of the Bastards. Some things narratively. But again, see? Like, Ramsay needed to get taken out, man. The book goes into the Targaryen history. That's good. They are twisted. Yes, they are. Is it weird that, like, so, like, the Starks, anybody out there, let me know, because I haven't caught on to this really too much quite yet, but, like, the Starks and the Lannister, the Starks and the Targaryens seem to be the only ones that have, like, magical, only houses, the people, or the bloodline that have magical properties. A thing with dragons, and the Starks can warg with animals. I don't know, like, what the Lannisters can do, the Boltons, the Martells. Like, if they have any, like, if they have, like, a magical, quality to their bloodline. Oh, what you doing, Arya? Oh, is this when she kills Papa Finch? House Frey, yeah, that's right.
When people ask you what happened here,
I gotta give it to Maisie Williams. Apparently, let me give some shout outs to Maisie Williams, because she's
when people ask you what happened here,
Mama apparently had a rough go as a child, and then she definitely had a rough go, like, after the success of the show. But I gotta say, like, the actress, like, it's weird that she has such, like, big kind of, like, the doe eyes. It's like she has big Disney eyes, right? But they're just angled enough, and, like, her eyebrow, like, give her, like, a piercing, scary stare, and it's really kind of badass. Kind of a perfect choice of, like, the innocence that Arya can capture, but she's extremely dangerous, especially after she finishes all of her training. It's just so shout out to just being awesome actress and just having beautiful qualities of an innocence and a deadly nature. What does it say?
In the book, they can inhabit animals.
In the book, they can inhabit animals. All the Starks. Oh, okay. But yeah, did any of the other? Okay. So I'm learning some new things here. But yeah, I didn't know if any of the other bloodlines or the houses had any sort of some kind of magical inkling. Because I'm sorry, if Daenerys can walk through fire, it's pretty advantageous. Obviously, she can't stop a blade. If Jon Snow came after her with fire, it wouldn't have mattered. But he stabbed her. He stabbed her in the belly button. I type in greatest scene of all time. I was like, why is my man from Peaky Blinders just there? Oh, look at little Drogon. Look at little Drogon. That's nowhere near as big as you're gonna get, fella. You're gonna get huge. You're gonna get stupid big. Ah, Cersei, we hardly knew thee to have a good bone in your body. Oh, by the way, this is a very emotional scene. You get a nice little peek.
Not once. Why not?
Nice little peek into Cersei as a human being.
saying her name even in private. Felt like I was breathing life back into her. I thought if I didn't talk about her, she'd just fade away for you. When I realized that wasn't going to happen, I refused to ask out of spite.
I gotta say, man, Mama took Leonidas' death real hard. She went to Westeros and just became real evil. Why? Why, Cersei? Cersei Gorgo. Well, my friends, let's say every opening scene. Let me go ahead and just do it. Let's just do it. What is this? Oh my god. Oh my god. Is every comparison? Oh yeah, I heard about that. Lady Stark, yeah. Catelyn, she comes back as like this, like a weird witch or something, right? Well, let's do it, friends. We did it, my friends. A lovely stream in the books. I was so happy to talk about this. I feel like there's so much that I couldn't get to, and even in a couple hours. I would love to talk more about this. If you would like to see a part 2 of Game of Thrones live stream and going into more things, anybody out there, hit up the comments and go. If you go down into the description, my friends, if you want to help out the channel, help out the production company trying to make all these awesome things for you, go ahead and send something. Help out the channel for the price of a coffee. You get to choose how much you can donate to the channel on 2 things. You see it down in the description. I love doing these things for y'all, friends. I haven't been able to post much on my YouTube channel because work has been getting slow, so I've been trying to get a lot more work. But also, we just got done doing principal shooting for our short film, and I've been editing that pretty hardcore. And it's crazy trying to do all of this by yourself, this post-production stuff by yourself, because it was literally the team of shooting was our cast, myself, and my partner Allison, and now we're doing the pre-production, and I'm doing the main post-production, and she's helping out once I get the main things ready. So until that, it's a lot of things, but this was so fun. I could really actually talk about this even more. I might do that. Especially if I do House of the Dragon. Yeah, maybe I'll do some House of the Dragon. Get some hype around that. I see over here, they got X-Men 97. Who knows? You want to see some X-Men 97 discussions going on around there? Little review of that? I would love to, because X-Men 97 is actually fantastic. And I love the old X-Men cartoon. Alright, my lovelies. This is Dimitri, your friendly neighborhood Aoka. So happy to bring you the awesome. Hopefully you laughed. Hopefully you cried. Hopefully you didn't poop all of your pants. Remember, my friends, peace is the default. Damn near everything is nuanced. And please just be fucking excellent to each other. And we can all make Westeros a better place. Alright, y'all? I would say that is a see you later. Now I will awkwardly end the stream. The music will cut out weirdly. Oh, man.